Welcome back to the Sheffield Wednesday career mode here on Dexterity Box. It's a brand new season. The Chancery man has gone in my world now, and we have a takeover, but we still have an embargo in place where it means we can only sign free transfers and loan players for a good while yet. All the money that's coming from the ownership is going to be going into the infrastructure of the club and trying to make sure that Sheffield Wednesday never ends up in the situation it was in before. With Chancery, we don't get there again. So we're going to look at some players that can get us out of League One. Yes, it's a proper rebuild. We got relegated. We're going down to League One. We're going to try and make our way back up. I'm getting the scouts working. They didn't really work at all last season because we didn't need them to. But now we're going to be using the main scouting team, trying to get us some free transfers, trying to get us some loans, as well as the youth players. We will be having a big look on the youth players. And look at this. Reasonable objectives. Finish mid-table, reach round of 16. I'm going to try and get promoted. But they've seen how bad the squad is after the Chancery tax of selling all the players. And they realise, okay, yeah, maybe we need to go a little bit lenient on this guy. We are going to sell some of the players like McGee that we can't do too much with. Piers Charles, annoyingly, has gone on a free transfer. I'm going to try and fix that because he shouldn't be going on a free transfer. He's too young. But there we are. FIFA did a FIFA. So what I do straight away is see if he's still in free transfers. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, I'm signing him back then because that shouldn't have happened. He's under contract. He's coming back. Amass is now at Forest as well. So Amass is 72 rated at Forest. So I think we're going to struggle to get someone like Amass back, unfortunately. But Piers Charles at 20 years old, 67 overall in League One. Let's make him the number one. Let's bring him in. He is the man for us going forward. Obviously, we could have looked at maybe signing Horvath, but we can't because it's free transfers. All of that. We need to make sure that any signing we make fits within that budget. We could have potentially loaned him, maybe, because we can pay wages now on loans. So it is a little bit freer than it was last season. As you can see, our youth academy, we've got some 17-year-olds in here at like 61 rated, etc. Maybe give them a loan, see how they get on, bring some players into the squad. To be honest, with the rate the squad's at, they might have a chance come January because we're not the biggest squad. But what we do have as well is I've noticed that some of the potential of the players is not at the standard we want. So I do need to do a little bit of a cull in the youth academy in areas to make sure we have the right standard across, because I want it to be sort of like mid to high 80s, the potential. Like 74 to 82. At 14, I'll allow it, but we'll see how it goes over time. At the minute, I'm not too sure. I've obviously sped all this up, but I do look at pretty much every free transfer that's available to us that could potentially fit our system. We're going to have a look at some Premier League loans, maybe bring in some good players again. I don't want to go too unrealistic. I've quite liked the grounded nature of this career mode, so let's be honest, Wednesday getting Amass and Man United in real life paying all his bonuses, paying all his wages is pretty much unheard of, paying absolutely everything for him. So it's not the most unrealistic thing that things like that do happen. But it was a big move. We've got a big offer here for Deshaun Bernard, and I'll be honest, in League One, if we can get the money out for him, I think it's the way we have to go. I don't want to get rid of Bernard, but look at the situation we're in. Somebody's offering us, we can probably get over 3 million for him in League One. He's going to want to go at this stage at 25 years old. 3.4 million for him. We've got to take it. It's just the way the game goes sometimes. So Deshaun Bernard is out, but that's money to put back into the club. We're looking at a full rebuild, remember. So yes, it'd be great to build a squad around him, etc. But I don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to have to use our young players. Otegbayo, the likes of Palmer might get a look in. We probably could do with signing another centre-back. We have the means to do that now. We've got McNeil and Cadamartri up front as well, 65 and 68 rated. Shipston in the midfield at 58. Maybe we need to do something about that. Chalobah will probably want off, but Valerie, because he got injured, we've managed to keep hold of him. We do have a Valerie. So we can keep hold of him at the minute. Trying to loan players like Dyer out. If you watch the last episode, you'll see he featured in the Youth Academy games. If we can get him a decent rating, he could be pretty good for us. Some of this money, though, the Bernard money, can now go in rather than paying wages under the Chancery tax, it can go in to hiring a new scout. I'm not too impressed with these scouts here, to be honest, but we might just have to make do and go for this Morton guy with the 4-star on judgment to bring in some players so we can have 3 scouts out at a time, keep the youth academy full, keep players with a pathway into the club, really. Going to look for some defenders as well because we really need defenders at the minute. This Huisman could be a good investment if we can get him cheap, 61 rated. Ralph Huisman. Going to be one of the youth players. We could probably get him on pittance. But he'd be in and around the squad as well. So we're doing a Sheffield Wednesday obscure signing. 1,400 he wants. We can probably finesse that a little bit. See what we can get him. We took a hefty bonus off there. So if we can just bring him down a little bit, we will do it. But having a striker on the bench for 1,300 a week keeps within our budget. Keeps somebody with a bit of potential. We'll either have him on the bench getting into the squad or we could loan him. There's options there. Luke Offord looks half decent as a centre-back, 64 on a free. Could be someone we bring in. George McEachran there as well at 64 rated. Obviously now Bannon's retired, etc. So we have lost, well, not retired, he's gone to, I think Bannon's gone to Saudi actually, funnily enough, in this game mode. So there you go, he's got the Saudi bag. But we do have some loans come back here. Jebison, Obi. Again, players that we could potentially bring in. I wouldn't want them to be the focus, but they would be good options for us with just McNeil and Cadamartri up front at the minute. We could do with a striker, so it's something we need to consider. I quite like the look of this Obi, to be fair, for a season. 18 years old. Wednesday, you've got good links with Man United. This could be something you could see happening. I loan out the Ortiz keeper, who was our keeper out on loan last season as well. He's gone to Birmingham for a year because Charles is going to be our number 1 and Ortiz needs game time. Jack Aitchison there could be again another one, but I don't really like these cams and strikers. You know, they're not very good for the actual positions. You've got to play them as strikers and convert them, otherwise their stats are just woeful, to be honest. Pre-season, I'm not going to focus too much on. It's more about let's get these loans sorted, let's get the right players in, the right players out. Kabachi's at 67 overall now. Kabachi could be somebody that we end up actually having a focus for, but we're going to go in for Offord to become our new centre-back. Deshaun Bernard is gone, 26 years old. Experience here. Believe Offord is an MK Dons player. So this is the sort of level we're at with Wednesday in this rebuild at the minute, but we are going to, we do need experience in there along with the youth coming through. So Offord could be one of those. He's not going to be on stupid wages. He's got a couple of nice play styles as well. So actually he's going to be useful for me to use in the game. So yeah, I think that's a solid, decent signing on a free. Quite realistic for Wednesday's situation. Let's bring him in. We'll be part of the squad straight away. Obi as well. We're going to go in for a loan. Again, I don't think I'm going to start him over McNeil or Cadamartri, but he's definitely going to be a big part of what we do there. We're going to pay 40% of his wages as well, so I can make that work. That's fine. We're going to pre-season sim some of the games here because just for the pre-season, then we'll get into the actual games when we get into the league. But Obi in there, you see, I've got options now because if you look at the squad stamina, that's still going to be an issue this season. So having like Offord, Obi around. I've got Weaver in the back line as much as I'd love to use Weaver because he's doing really, really well in real life. We could probably have to swap him out with Offord. So we've got Offord and Otegbayo there. Otegbayo at 64 as well, though. I think I might use him throughout the season. Decent centre-backs there. We've got Sequeira at right-back. I'm not too sure on that one. But Roman Dyer goes out on loan. Hopefully he can get some potential up there for next season. And I'm going to start focusing on Otegbayo's development now. He's 21 years old. I don't know how high his ceiling is in terms of potential. But if we can get him to a decent start, that'll be all right. Unfortunately, Weaver's probably not going to go up much. But I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying, guys. We'll get him in there. Doesn't even have a face. That's how bad Sheffield Wednesday's predicament is at the minute. Don't even have face scan players in there. Cork City offering me a swap deal was weird. We've got that, was that Arnott lad that a loan offer came in for there? Potentially. And Shipston There's a lot of questions about Shipston in that midfield. We are probably going to have to replace Shipston because 56 overall, even in League One, is we're going to struggle. Bruno Fernandes as well, obviously did very well in the cup at times last season. And then the captain wise, I think it makes sense to change the captain this season and make it Valerie. So Valerie is like our star player. 73 rated. He's going to be our star player in League One. So it's going to be, I've decided that the leadership team within the squad going forward is now going to be Valerie and Palmer. So for this season, Palmer is captain technically. He's club captain, but Palmer's not going to start. So Valerie's going to be vice captain in our little law world. And that means he'll wear the armband pretty much every game. So I quite like that. Well, we're going to try the squad out now. We've got the first game of the season against what was Steve Bruce's Blackpool here. I think that was an attempt at a Steve Bruce face scam. And we're going to play like Sequeira there. We've got a young lad in Cameron that we've brought through our academy that's playing in the midfield at the minute. That's what we're doing at the start of the season. We're trying out some of the youth players, giving them a go in the first team, seeing how they get on. We're pressing quite high here. Otigbayo and Savage running up there. Kadamatri through. Can Kadamatri get one past the goalkeeper straight away? And look at that. He's off the mark already. 10 minutes into the new season. And Kadamatri scores his first League One goal for Wednesday. Blackpool, though, looking to get back in it just 10 minutes after. Keep pressing. But defensive work from Valerie was initially good. Then he fumbles it. Come on, I've just made you captain. Don't do that. They're passing it a little bit too easily there, but Otegbayo with a great defensive challenge there. They're looking to split through again, though. Blackpool again with the little lift there. And Valerie's on it to Shipston, to McNeil. McNeil trying to find Kadamatri. Can Kadamatri get a second? I think it's going to be Kadamatri's season with the second goal there. What are we thinking? I think I've done the right thing, thinking about building the squad around him. But we'll change some players. We'll bring that new Huseman on. We've got the OB option as well. Fusire for Shipston. Again, we've got bloody 50 rated players in the midfield. But we'll give it a go. It's working. It's working against Blackpool. Even though the stamina, we are struggling a little bit. Otegbayo gets a bit done there. And unfortunately, it looked like we were going to concede. But fortunately, actually, from unfortunately, Charles makes a great save. Savage down the right-hand side. I've moved Kabachi to the left, by the way, so we can play them both starting. Fusire makes it 3. What a start to the League One season. So, Savage, our young player from last season, is now starting on the right. Kabachi's on the left. I think I'll keep hold of Fusire. He's a good option to have, especially if he comes and does that at 58 rated. But yeah, a very, very solid win to start the season. Is this the interview where they asked me about Kadamatri, say he's terrible and good at the same time? I love how you do get the contradictory ones there. But yeah, we loan out Weaver. My job is now safe. Thanks, board. Appreciate it. And we can move on. I decided to change the kit numbers. I know this annoys a lot of you. It annoys me too when I realise I haven't done it. So we are going to change the kit numbers. Otegbayo's going to get a permanent number because I am going to actually properly have him as my centre-back now in this League One season at least. It's nice to be able to keep some of the Wednesday players in, even though we've had the Chansiri tax last season, got rid of some of the experienced players. Some players that are currently playing for Wednesday. Definitely want them in this League One rebuild. And then if we get promoted, we'll see who can still cut the mustard, the next step up. And we'll properly build out this team. Again, I need to release some of the youth players so I can sign some of the more higher potential players in the youth scout reports. Like, I think I got rid of one of the Dyers there. I signed a couple. One of them's on loan, though, so one of them's made it. But yeah, unfortunately, they're just not progressing at the rate we'd want them to in this academy sometimes. I'll keep the 15-year-olds for now, 16-year-olds, just to see if they have the jumps, because they tend to get quite a big jump every May or so as well. As you can see here, we've got a lot of scout reports in the works for free agents as well, so we're still looking in that market. It's chucking it down against Wigan, and unfortunately, we paid the price of that. Terrible on the ball. Wigan get a goal very early on. We are doing a bit of a highlights thing here just so I can get some transfers done this window. Kabachi cuts it from the left and Shipston brings it to McNeil, but unfortunately we lose it there. This game, I just remember it kept giving Wigan highlights and I was like, excuse me, like, look at that. Gives me an attack and literally passes it straight to a Wigan player. Great game. Great gameplay. The rain's not helping, but we get a counter-attack here. One of the only attacks it's actually give us. McNeil. Got to be careful with it because I don't want to lose the ball here. Shipston to McNeil. Plays it through to Obi. We've got Obi on and Obi gets his first Wednesday goal. So, an equaliser from Obi. Worth bringing him in just for that. On this cold, rainy night against Wigan. We get a point. So we started the season with 3 points against Blackpool, 1 point against Wigan. 4-point start. Not the worst. Shipston apologising for playing crap. Get better. But yeah, as you can see, we've got some players now with higher potential coming in, which should benefit us in the long run when we're looking at investment in the squad, etc. And I'm going to be a bit more selective over the players we're bringing because I don't want to have to keep releasing players from the academy. But it does happen. You bring them in and then the potential just tanks. I might need to reinvest some of the millions we've got into the academy. But Andy Fisher here, maybe a good backup keeper. I need somebody to sit on the bench, basically. Wintle there would be fantastic for us, but he might be out of our wage budget. Jordan Wright there might, even at 59, be somebody who just sits on the bench. He becomes our bench keeper if we can't bring someone in. Bradley Halliday at right back, maybe for Sequeira. Harry Cornick, 67, Bristol City player. Obviously a free agent in this game now. Could be a really solid League One signing. Giuseppe, Mark Giuseppe there, could be that backup keeper, that experienced keeper to nurture Dawson. But we're going to go in for Mitchell here, a centre-back, a centre-mid, sorry, to replace Bannon, basically. He's 25 years old. He's going to be obviously one of our higher earners, but he's within those parameters of being the right sort of signing for us. He obviously plays for Millwall as well, so again, it's a signing that makes sense for us. We get him on a decent enough deal in terms of his wages and a free transfer. Billy Mitchell, can't beat it really. Probably one of the best signings probably the best signing we've made, let's be honest. We've only made 2, 3. So, yeah, let's keep building it. I'm going to go in for Cornick as well. Wednesday, you're doing a proper rebuild here. 31 years old. Get him in on a couple of grand. He wants a little bit more than that. The tension's quite high. I'm going to push for it. I'm not having you on stupid money. You're not breaking it. I'll give you 4 because of your experience, but we're not breaking the bank for players in League One. Giuseppe, I want him as the sporadic keeper for a year. We can do that. His recommended wage is $750, so it looks like it could happen. He wants quite a bit more than that, so I'm like, okay, let's just try $1,000. But they don't even give me a counter offer. So I'm like, cool. Now I'm blocked from going in for him. Well, that doesn't make sense. So instead, I was looking for a backup keeper. I might as well go in for this 27-year-old Jordan Wright and just have him on the bench. Give him a couple of year deal. 27, he can support Charles. Fine. Play him in the cup. Bit weird, that Giuseppe thing. I don't know why they didn't give me a counter, but we can get him in at like 800 quid. That'd be a banging deal. But he does look like he wants $1,000 a week. I'll still try and push. 850 maybe. £850 a week for him there. Decent bench keeper for that. Obviously 59 rate is not pulling up any trees, but we've got our other keeper from the academy now on loan, so we do need a couple of keepers at the club, and he'll just sit on the bench. So we've got a bit of depth there. And Mitchell straight in the midfield. And Cameron takes Shipston's spot. We've swapped him over, so Cameron's going to get a run in this game. We're going to try him out in the career. And we've obviously done a little bit of a mix-up for the cup here against Salford. Wiesman gets his first goal for us. And Cornick wants to go back in for the renegotiation. I'm going to offer him the exact same thing, and look, he's accepted. Shock. It always happens, that. But I think he's going to replace Savage, because Savage is still 64 rated. I'm quite disappointed in that. I expected him to improve his rating a little bit more than that, but he hasn't so far. But we'll try Cornick out. Pace might be an issue, but we'll see how he gets on. We've got Shipston. I've put Shipston back in for now. That Cameron, I want him to get a more of a natural position before he goes in permanently. McNeil nearly puts us 1-0 up against Bradford. Valerie, edge of the box to McNeil. Is McNeil going to run the show today? It looks like it. Gets a shot in. Valerie to Mitchell. Look at this passing. Am I watching Barcelona? I might be. It's McNeil. What a playing move that was. Absolutely fantastic. McNeil gets his first goal for us this season. Running the show. Shipston actually feels like a decent player here. I wish I could get his overall up a little bit more. Mitchell. Absolutely toying with Bradford towards the edge of the box. It's with Shipston. Does get a little bit bullied here. We've got to be careful on the counter-attack. Just like that. Hits the post. We get lucky, but Charles left a bit in no man's land there, and they do get the equaliser. So it's 1-1. Got to keep pushing. This is the second half now. Cadamartri takes it through to McNeil. Is McNeil going to do it again? But McNeil's struggling now in terms of getting on the ball. His first touch. Not 100% there. We're going to bring on Obi for Cadamartri. Because Cadamartri's been pretty much non-existent in this game, to be fair. McNeil has scored, so we'll keep the faith with Obi up front. Maybe we get it a little bit of pace off it. He's got quite a good amount of pace, but Bradford are through here. 65 minutes, that could have been dangerous. Bring Fisire on now for Shipston. Shipston's had a good game, but is getting a bit knackered. Got to be careful from those sort of set pieces. They can bounce anywhere. Charles goes for the long throw with Obi. Can't quite get it to him there, though. Don't know where he was throwing that. Cornick's knackered on the 90th minute. So, not made too much of an impact on his debut. Got to be careful we don't concede here. It looks like we're going to have to settle for the point. And we do have to settle for the point. So, start of the season, a win and 2 draws. You know what? That's quite a grounded, realistic rebuild start to the season. I'll take that. I am intrigued to see how we do against someone like Oxford, so we'll have a look at that in a second. Offers coming in for Chalobah, but I'm not allowed to accept them, by the way, for some weird reason. I do decide to quick sim Oxford to see what the game would have us do, and it's 3-0. Cadamartri, brace, and a Mitchell goal, so we've got a good sim team here, but I am going to be playing a mix of the matches in this season because I want to see these players develop. I want us to get a little bit more of an attachment to them, so next season, depending on where we are, we have a decision on our hands to the players that have got us through this League One attempted bounce back. Will we get automatics? Will we get to the playoffs? I'd assume we'd have enough of a squad and enough of a chance to at least be in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. As you can see here for next episode, I'm still looking at free transfers. We've got time until transfer deadline day, but that's where we will be. Next episode is transfer deadline day. Adding players to our squad. Again, we have that embargo in place. We can't go crazy. So let me know who you want to see in this squad. But for now, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those things, and keep watching right here on Dexterity Box.